than 3 weeks before the World Cup kicks off here in Brazil, and workers have been staging strikes all over the country. Here in Salvador, Brazil's third largest city, a transportation strike shut down the city for 48 hours. I'm here at one of the main bus terminals that leads into the historic district, where a number of World Cup spectators will be coming, and this place is completely deserted. It's usually bustling with commuters in the middle of the week and in the midst of rush hour, but at the moment there's nothing happening. This is an indication of what worker strikes have been capable of doing 3 weeks before the international tournament.
The run-up to the World Cup has been plagued by unrest throughout the country. In the spotlight, Brazilians are using this critical time before the opening games to hit the streets. Public transportation workers revolted throughout the month of May. In Salvador, bus drivers literally walked off their jobs, setting traffic into a frenzy as parked buses blocked major highways for hours. The transportation syndicate is demanding a 9% increase in wages and a decrease in working hours. Public bus drivers make between $300 to $400 a month and work 7 days a week, during all holidays, and some for up to 12 hours a day.
Para nós estamos assim, precisa de transporte de qualidade. O rodoviário tem que estar com sua mente aberta, focado no seu trabalho, sem a preocupação de que nós vamos ter dia a dia tanta violência, tantas intempéries, tantas obstruções de via, coisa que traz o estresse, traz a doença e traz a falta de capacidade para o nosso trabalho. O que o rodoviário quer não é só salário, não, é qualidade de vida.
The strike immediately shut down all of the city's main bus terminals. The omnibus system in Salvador is the main source of transportation for 500,000 commuters daily. Suddenly, life in the city came to a grinding halt. This is the effect of the strike. Typically packed streets on weekdays are deserted. Busy side streets and alleys are without their vendors and customers. Businesses stay closed without their workers.
O comércio está muito parado, né? Atrapalha muito o comércio. Segurança também, tema atrapalha a vida da gente em geral.
Salvador, like all of Brazil's major cities, has been rocked by endless worker unrest the entire month of May. Nearly all sectors have joined the strikes, from bank workers to university professors, sanitation and mental health workers.
Nós já fomos médicos, nós já fomos motoristas, nós já fomos enfermeira.
The strike is now passing by the historic district on that end, and you can see the crowd's very jubilant. On the other side, the military police is protecting the Salvador sign. It's become a symbol of the World Cup being hosted here in Salvador. And a lot of the protesters are mocking the fact that the police are protecting the sign, but they're not protecting the people.
Para chamar a atenção dos políticos, né? Porque infelizmente não deveria ser um momento como esse, a Copa, né? Que é o único prazer que o brasileiro tem. Mas é um momento que tem das autoridades falar realmente com o prefeito e com os políticos.
When the military police walked out in April, the city was plunged into a security vacuum. Murder and crime rates tripled within hours. Nearly all divisions of Brazil's police forces are threatening to strike during the games.
Somos apaixonados por futebol, mas também nós somos apaixonados por saúde de qualidade, pública de qualidade, educação pública de qualidade, transporte coletivo público de qualidade, tá entendendo?
Worker strikes have now become a daily part of life. Businesses use the word greve or strike in Portuguese to promote discounted items. Restaurants have strike specials. Although the strikes have caused multiple disruptions in the city, Salvadorans support the workers demanding their rights.
A minha opinião sobre as greves é que todo mundo tem direito a fazer greve e procurar seus direitos, entendeu? Se o país não tem uma formação de cultura, de administração, fica isso para ajudar a população, o cidadão, todo mundo tem que fazer sua greve.
The worker disruption could not have come at a worse time for Brazil. Far behind FIFA's standards for the World Cup, construction is being rushed through to ensure Brazil delivers the most basic requirements before the Games. 3 of the 12 major stadiums have yet to be complete. So far, 8 workers have died on the job trying to complete them. The World Cup has already cost the country $15 billion, the the most expensive on record. But even as workers across the country went on strike and public outrage toward the cup intensified, for Brazil, the show must go on. Construction around the newly built Fonte Nova Stadium has also gone into overdrive. All points of transportation within a 1-mile radius of the Fonte Nova are experiencing extreme makeovers, like the Sete Portas bus terminal.
Sete Portas is a rundown bus terminal. It's become a haven for crack addicts, and on any given time of the day, it's dangerous. But a 15-minute walk in that direction will take you to the Fonte Nova, and on the opposite direction, a 10-minute walk that way will take you to the historic district. A number of World Cup spectators are going to be flocking to this particular bus terminal in order to get to the stadium. That is one of the main reasons why the government is rushing to ensure construction is taken care of before opening game.
This is Salvador's non-functioning metro. It has been under construction for the past 14 years. But just 3 weeks ago, a private company was contracted to finish the job. CCR brought in over 100 workers. Even during the strikes, they are bussed in by CCR. They work around the clock, 7 days a week. Workers are rushing to finish 2 of the 15 metro lines by June 11th, 1 day before opening game. Although most workers are being paid overtime, they complain the government is suddenly prioritizing urban mobility for the sole purpose of the World Cup.
Primeiro é o benefício deles, não é o nosso benefício primeiro. Eles não trabalham na intenção de nos beneficiar, entendeu? Isso aí é apenas um rótulo que ele rotula nas coisas que ele faz para poder ganhar o nosso voto. Por exemplo, aí, como você está vendo, estamos trabalhando. Todo mundo sabe que está tendo trabalho, agora não sabe se a gente vai desfrutar deste trabalho.
On the streets, opinions differ as to whether the World Cup will benefit the people.
Muitas coisas estão fazendo muita coisa por causa da Copa. E isso vai ficar, né? Então, é bom.
E o metrô também que está para sair agora. Espero que saia também, né?
Eu gostei da ideia da Copa ser aqui.
Falta tudo. Falta não só mudança física, mas assim, mental, na verdade, de digerir isso, né? Porque trazer um evento para aqui, sem estrutura nenhuma.
The run-up to the World Cup has also become a platform for the upcoming elections in October. The right-wing parties have seized on the public outrage and FIFA's criticism as a means to campaign against the left, specifically the PT, or the Workers' Party. As the 10-day countdown begins, Solteropolitanos, or natives of Salvador, are preparing for the year's most anticipated event.
A 5-time World Cup champion, some suggest that Brazil has gone to extreme measures to appease FIFA, the international body governing the World Cup. Brazil implemented the general law of the Cup, which gives FIFA and its representatives and officials tax exemptions as well as visa requirement exemptions as a result of the international games. It also makes a number of changes to its commercial law and allows the sale of alcohol inside the stadium. Now Brazil is not only facing the lack of preparation and the lack of construction before the World Cup, but it's also facing a population in anger over the misspending of its public funds. Jahan Hafiz for The Real News, Salvador, Bahia, Brazil.